What is going on, everyone? My name is Adam Adler with Pragmatic Ways, and this is our first video in our new Java programming course, where we're going through the absolute basics of Java for the beginner in mind. So before we actually get into learning programming itself, we kind of need to understand, what programming is, what it means to make a program, and how a computer can run some Java programming code. Okay, so the first thing to know is when I say that we're writing Java programming code and we're going to be learning how to program in Java, what we're really going to be making here is a series of different source code files. And just like a Word doc has a .doc extension, a Java file will have a .java extension, and inside of this file will be a bunch of Java programming code that we are going to be writing. And this code is human readable code that you and I are actually going to be able to read and understand and everything else. But the problem is that a computer doesn't know how to read Java code. It doesn't know how to actually run a Java program just by itself. Because computers only really know how to read machine code or binary, right? So we need a way to essentially convert our Java source code files into machine code. That way the computer can run it. And the way to do that is with a little process called compiler, with a compiler that's going to compile our Java code. So the compiler is essentially just a tool, and the process of compiling is, called compiling. So we're going to compile our Java source code into machine code so the computer can, run that code. And that's what we're going to be going through in today's course. This first course here is just installing this compiler here. And to do that, it's actually very simple. We're just going to go over to Google, and we're going to be downloading the Java Jdk, which stands for Java Development Kit. So I'm going to type in Java Jdk download. And then it's going to just be the first link here on Google search. And, let's just make sure we're clicking on oracle.com, and then we're doing the Java SE. SE stands for Standard Edition, which we'll see right here. There's also the Enterprise Edition, which would, of course, be Java EE instead. But, in this case, we're only doing the Standard Edition. That's all we care about. So I'm just going to click on this JDK download link, and this will bring me to a new page where all this one is just essentially just a bunch of different versions for downloading the JDK based on your operating system. So if you have Linux, you would download one of these, or if you're on Mac, you would download one of those. I happen to be on Windows on this computer here, and I happen to have a 64-bit computer, so I'm going to download this one. And just click on that link. I'm going to pretend I read that agreement and click download. All right, now that that's fully downloaded, I'm going to go over here and click Show in Folder. And then all it downloaded was just a .exe file, so I'm just going to go ahead and double-click on that to actually run this. All right, so once it opens up, it'll just open up the standard installation wizard that you're probably very familiar with seeing. And we're pretty much just going to be clicking on all the default settings here. So I'm going to click on Next. And then this is going to ask us where we want to download the Java JDK at, and I'm going to leave it as the default setting here, but let's make note of where this file path is. It's going to be in our C drive in the program files folder under the Java folder, and then under the JDK-14.0.2 folder. And the 14.0.2 just happens to be the version number that I'm installing at the time of this recording. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Next. And then that's going to go through the whole installation process. While that's going through, I'm going to close a couple of these windows here and then minimize them. And let this installer finish up installing. And there we go, successfully installed. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this window here. And now I need a way of essentially verifying that our JDK and our compiler is actually installed properly. So to do that, I'm going to be using the command prompt. So I'm just going to go over here into the search bar, and I'm going to type in CMD, which is just short for command. It's going to give me the option to open the command prompt app. I will click on that to open it. And now, first thing I want to do, even before I check what compiler version I have, or to see if I have a compiler installed, I'm going to first just make sure I have Java installed in itself. So I'm going to do Java space -version. And I'm just going to see what version of Java happened to install with that JDK. And I click on enter, and then I get this little bit of an error here, and this is just saying Java is not recognized as an internal or external command. And basically what this means is that we installed Java, and we installed the JDK, which in turn installed Java and the Java compiler that we need, but our computer doesn't really know where to find that yet. All it did was just install it and put it inside that source, that file folder path that we saw earlier. So now we need to basically tell our computer where to look to find Java so we can run Java commands and Java compiler commands and whatnot. And to do that, we're going to be setting up what's called environment variables. So I'm going to go back into the search bar here, and I'm going to type in variable. And then I want to make sure I click on the one that says edit environment variables for your account. There's also this one for edit system environment variables, but we're going to make sure we click on the one for edit environment variables for your account. So I'll click on that there. And then basically I just want to create a couple new variables inside of here. And before I do that, I want to find that folder path that we downloaded Java Jdk to in the first place. I'm going to go to File Explorer. And then if we have good memory, we can remember that it was installed in the C drive, inside the Program Files folder, inside the Java folder, and then inside the only folder inside of here. And there, this is what we need here. So I'm going to click up here, and this is going to give me the folder address here. So I'm just going to Control-C to copy that, and then I can minimize that. And now that I have the folder for the JDK in my clipboard, I'm going to create a new environment variable here by clicking on this new button. And this new variable name is going to be named Java _ home. And then the variable value is I'm just going to Control-V to paste in what we saved earlier. And I'm going to click OK. And now that gives me a Java home variable. But what I really need is a path variable. And explaining that's a little bit deeper outside of the scope of this course here. But basically, we're just going to create a new variable again. And it's going to be named path. And now I essentially want to extract out, though, I want to dereference the actual value from this Java home variable. So to do that, I'm going to type in a %, and then I'm going to do the same variable name, Java _ home, and then the % again. But I don't actually want this home for this path variable. I want to go a level deeper, a folder deeper, and that's going to be in the /bin folder. This part is very, very extremely important that you make sure you remember to do this part here, okay? To make sure you add in the /bin after the Java here. Otherwise, compiling your programs will not work properly. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and click on OK there, and then OK there. And I need to close out this command prompt, and open up a new command prompt window. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's close that one, type in cmd and search, open up a new command prompt. And now I can run this Java -version command again. And now I can see that I have the proper Java version showing up. So that's all great. And now let's do now let's find our Java compiler and see if that's good to go as well. I'm going to type in Java C, and then same thing, -version, and click enter. And now I see the actual Java compiler that's found as well. So now I know I have Java installed, I know I have my compiler installed, and now we're ready to rock and roll. In the next video, we're going to go through the process of actually compiling our first Java program. But before we get there, I'd love it if you guys like this video. If you did like this video, smash that subscribe button to make sure you get notified when we come up with new videos on how to learn Java programming. And if you had any problems with the content of this course, or you didn't really follow along or anything else, drop a comment in the comment section below, or even better yet, check the description for a link to our Facebook group, which is going to be the Software Engineering Mastermind group. And this group is just filled with a whole bunch of software engineers, both brand new engineers as well as experienced veteran engineers. And we're all just helping each other out with problems we have, or networking and sharing knowledge and ideas, and so on and so forth. So head on over to that group and start networking, and let us know you're there. But like I said, in the next video, we're going to be compiling our first Java program. So see you all there.